Our continuous rolling coverage on Russia's assault of Ukraine. I'm joined once again by Maria MP Ukraine. Appreciate you joining us, Maria, in this time. Indications right now coming in, a lot going on in the last 24 hours, aerial bombing in Kharkiv right now.
Yes, Kharkiv was severely damaged by missile weapons and cassette bombs that are forbidden by any rule of conduct of war. And these are the crimes against humanity when during the war the civilians are presented as a main target. This we have witnessed in the city center and a little bit beyond in terms of targeting children hospitals, schools for children with sight disabilities. And I'm happy to inform that 15 minutes ago, they took a train to Lviv, to the western city, to be hosted abroad in Poland. I am happy to inform, because of the lack of medication and not all the pharmacies are operating, and the crew hour begins from 4 p.m. already, and no one can go out to the streets because they can be taken as the Russian army, just dressed in normal clothes. We have to take this measure. So all the supermarkets, pharmacies, and everyone are working for a very short period. That's why there's a high need of medication. We have delivered it from Lviv. It will be arriving to Kharkiv today to several children's hospitals. The regional children's hospital was also targeted by a missile. No one was injured, thank God, and because the part of the building which was fully reconstructed in great condition, specifically a surgery part of it was damaged. We had to relocate children to another place. This is a matter of fact. It is a humanitarian crisis which Russia created, having already 9,000 Russian soldiers who are dead. We are calling on the Red Cross to take out the bodies of the soldiers because it's inhuman to hold them here, and it's inhuman for Russia not to take them back home. And this is a high and direct fact of the number of cases which Russia is hiding. We are also alerting Red Cross, and I've just had a meeting, a virtual meeting on that, to provide green corridors. This is very important because people are lacking food, water, and they have to have a right to escape. This is a full-scale war, and we hope, and this is what President just confirmed on national TV, Kharkiv and many other cities will withstand. We will rebuild everything. The most important to have less losses in terms of civilians. That's why in the next round of peaceful negotiations, we're going to keep on calling for withdrawal of all, ceasefire, B, withdrawal of all Russian troops. This is our aim, and we hope the goal will be achieved. We are defending ourselves until the very end. And the collective West, with many measures like sanctions, financial, economic means, are behind us.
Maria, as I bring in my colleague Shiv as well into this conversation, I want to ask you, we know that Ukraine is standing strong, but in Kharkiv, indications suggest that the city might fall very soon to Russia. Is that true?
I don't believe so as a Kharkiv citizen. I know the spirit of the city and the spirit of those who live in Kharkiv, the spirit of business who got united and preparing voluntarily food for those who are in need. The regional and city council are also united in one platform to deliver help to civilians. We have enough of weapons. We're still awaiting, there's also, of course, a need of extra helmets and vests. We didn't expect that so many people from civilians will join the battalions of the defending battalions on the ground. This is a very recent law that we have passed a couple of months ago, and we've developed this network quite speedy. Therefore, of course, those women and children who would want to leave, elderly people, disabled people, have to have this right. Men and other who want to stay are staying and working on all the frontiers. I also would like to call international society, the representatives of the NATO member states, to close or partially close the sky, meaning have no-fly zone over Ukraine. And this is very important for those areas which have nuclear power plants. And that's what you covered a little bit in the introduction. Therefore, we have a very clear signal for Russia. They are out from the Council of Europe. There are some technicalities left. UN Security Council raised this issue because as a country which invades another country cannot have a right. The Security Council with the veto powers and all the rest. This is a very, very direct red line which Russia has crossed, and I'm sure the further responses will go further. For us, it's very important to show to the world that Kharkiv will withstand, as well as the other cities. You can see how people with no guns, no weapons, just holding flags and singing national anthems in smaller towns are facing tanks with Russian soldiers, and the Russian soldiers cannot do anything because they're being asked to go home.
Maria, one of the latest claims that is being made is that a Russian Sukhoi Su-30 fighter jet has been shot down, about 40 kilometers from Kyiv. This is the latest claim that's being made. What are you hearing about that? Is there a lot of air power that is being used? Earlier, Ukraine had also claimed that 2 large aircraft had been shot down. Now, a Sukhoi 30.
This is all very true because we can have a fair and very, very professional battle on the ground. But when it comes to the sky and aircrafts, of course, we are lacking some defense systems, but we are not. We call him Sky Angel, who already targeted the numerous number of enemies aircrafts and those who are just shooting, civilian population. We could have understood that the first targets were military objects, and as well as in Kharkiv yesterday, a college for aviation, for instance. It's also in my constituency. But targeting at the same time regional council, city council, hospitals, that's such an unfair way of conducting war at any possible way of understanding. And this is a dirty game that Putin is playing. His days are count. So it's just about the time when Russian people will finally realize how badly it affects their daily life. And this is happening already. So we hope that they will not be silent and they will come out to the streets to say, stop Putin, stop the war.
Maria, also about the city of Kherson, I'm bringing Preeti back in. Let's put Preeti on our screen as well because we're both asking questions. Maria, I want to ask you about the city of Kherson in the south, because today's big development is that this Black Sea port has, evidently fallen to Russian hands, even though the mayor there has said it is still very much Ukrainian. There are Russian warships in the Black Sea, off the coast of Odessa. There might be some kind of amphibious, sea assault on the city of Odessa. There is a big focus from the south as well. What are you hearing about Kherson and Odessa?
I am sure that they will also withstand, as well as that happened with the island, Snake Island, so-called, and a very famous saying: Russian ship go to 3 dots, and it's spreading across the world, translated in different languages. It's already became a national address to the aggressor. I am sure this is not the end, and Blitzkrieg didn't happen anywhere. So the fast overthrow and of the power, also of the local power, didn't happen anywhere. Even a small city, Melitopol, which is also claimed being under Russian invasion. I am in close contact with the mayor and the local deputies. They are still willing to bring back the power. It's just the Russian soldiers are, moving across the city, sleeping, eating our food, which could have been distributed to children, by the way. And they're trying to do what they've done in 2014, when actually this war began. In Donbass, they were overthrowing local administration, putting Russian flags, and going ahead with the so-called republics. But this scenario will not work. Ukrainian people are united to fight this also propaganda war, this fake things. We know that there's been an address of President Zelensky recorded as he is saying, we surrender. We will never surrender. It is a fake video which might be distributed. So I call on international society also to be very critical to what there might be seen.
Maria, the humanitarian crisis right now is only but growing. You say that Ukraine is not going to surrender, but ultimately, what are the options that Ukraine will have? Because, what's going on is this massive, aggressive, city by city, where Russia is concerned. Is Ukraine still steadfast on those two non-negotiables for Russia about being neutral and about the territories that Russia has recognized as independent?
We have a violation of humanitarian law, of international law. Russian representatives should go back home and study something they have never learned in the universities they've been in their youth. They are trying to re-establish the world order. It will not happen that the whole world will play their theater of ridiculous imperial ambitions. They can do whatever they want, but it will not work. The world has shown a very, very firm red card. And as I said before, the most who will suffer is the Russian population. We have seen, of course, sanctions targeting individuals and oligarchs and the close circle of Putin and himself, but this is just the very beginning. We're going to have this effect. We have seen what was happening with the national currency and the Russian central bank. So we are not tired. We are motivated, and we are just trying to show the world the truth. Now we have to take care of women, children, and those who are in need, and continue the fight, because professional army is doing their job.
Maria, before I let you go, I want to ask you one very quick question. You said that you have to take care of, children and women there. India has its own concerns. We have students who are still stuck in Kharkiv, as Kharkiv is being air raided as we speak. There's a lot going on there. And there is, word also coming in that most of these children who are stuck from 19 to 21-year-old are finding it very difficult to even get into the trains which are evacuating.
Yes, this is why we are calling on the Red Cross to provide us with an opportunity not to have any missile shots, or when Russian soldiers are targeting the cars which are moving to the train station. This is absolutely unacceptable. I call India to join our call to the Red Cross. We have established a direct communication with Geneva and other countries, or Norway, etc., via our colleagues in the Council of Europe. I call on Indian authorities to join us, because these are the people of India. And it's not the fault of Ukraine that the missiles of Russia are falling on our land. Please join us in this call. Address the Red Cross for Kharkiv, for Berdyansk, for Volnovakha, for Odessa, for Kherson, for every city. 22,000 international students are in Kharkiv, city number 1. We have in total 80,000, 22 of which are in Kharkiv. We address this issue every day. I just finished the call with regard to this matter. I call on Indian authorities to join us. Just tag a Red Cross, send a letter, join Ukraine in this call for humanitarian aid.
All right, Maria, appreciate you joining us, but there's also a lot, of talk where students have come with first-hand anecdotal, evidence that Ukrainians are not allowing them on trains, that there is, somewhere down partisan lines being followed where evacuation is concerned in Ukraine.
I have seen several stories on the media. I have spoke to international students myself who had no difficulties. We have passed this address of concern to those who are in charge of the Ministry of the Transport and of course the border controls, because many of them are not staying in Western Ukraine. They're withdrawing from the country, and this has been addressed. But as some of media said that it's million cases examples, this is not true. I have seen it with my own eyes, and I have recordings of international students who are saying reversal. But those cases which had at place any kind of mistreatment, we addressed it as a general issue to help and to assist, because these are human rights regardless of nationality, etc. This has to be treated accordingly.
All right. I'm glad you feel so. Appreciate you joining us, Maria, because we'd hope at this time of, in a war-torn situation that discrimination would not take place at least. These are 18, 19, 20-year-old children. Appreciate you joining us and raising this issue as well.